Video games inspire wonder at the concepts, locations, and characters they contain. Their complexity can be daunting, and they might cause confusion when a story says one thing now and another later. I'm Justin Newlam. Let's ask some questions. Is the light a god? Most of the races of Azeroth believe in the light to some extent, reflected in the ability for all but one race to be priests. While their views are not entirely compatible, there is a fair amount of commonality to their understanding of the light. The most common feature is the relation of one's faith to their capacity for using the light. Compare this to the intellectual nature of how mages control magic. What this faith is placed in differs from race to race, so let's take a look at some of those beliefs about the light. The Church of the Holy Light is the largest faction of light on Azeroth, with members from several races, but most predominantly humans. They have a philosophical view of the light. They see the light as a power that is called upon by any with faith, rather than a divine will to be channeled and followed by a select few. There is a faction of light that does believe in a will of the light and the special election of its members, the Scarlet Crusade. The issue with the perspective of the Scarlet Crusade on this nature of the light is that they were founded and influenced by a dreadlord for the explicit purpose of exterminating the Lich King's scourge, and one of the means by which the demon controlled them was by whispering to them in their minds. We see this play out with High General Abendis during the old Death Knight starting zone from Wrath of the Lich King. Abendis is led by the Dreadlord Mal'Ganis' whispers to believe that the light wants her to abandon the remaining Crusade members in Lordaeron and bring her troops to Northrend to assist in a renewed crusade against Arthas. Through her journals, we find that she believes the light has sent her these instructions in visions. But we know that it is Mal'Ganis manipulating her from questing in Dragonblight. Because of this history, it is hard to say that the Scarlet Crusade have a good reason to believe that the light has a will, since so much of their past was defined by the machinations of dreadlords deceiving them due to this very belief. The primary function of the light to the Eredar is evident in the title of the Exiled One's leader, the Prophet Velen. The light is currently considered to have a binary relationship with the void that manifests in several ways, the most simple being that the light seeks one truth where the void seeks many. Velen divines the future by using the light to identify that one future ahead, whereas the void looks to an unlimited number of possible futures, discounting none as false. Both use their method in order to prepare for the future as best as they can. This focus of the Eredar understanding of light leads them to be more militant and zealous, as seen by their incorporation of the light into their military power and treatment of races that don't relate to the light as they do. This ties into the other two factions of light-based Eredar besides Velen's Draenei, the Light-Forged and the alternate universe Lightbound. Both of these factions are less defined by what they stand for as much as what they stand against, respectively the Burning Legion and the remaining Mag'har Orcs. These factions are not following a particular deity necessarily, rather, like the Scarlet Crusade, they are formed on the basis of a need to do something about a perceived threat to their way of life. In the case of the Light Forged, it is the very real threat of the Burning Legion to wipe out all life across the cosmos. In the case of the Lightbound, it is the perceived environmentally damaging actions of the Mag'har in the regions of AU Draenor where they live. To be fair, the Mag'har Orcs blame the Lightbound for the harm to their world, but the truth of the matter is less relevant than the perspective of the Lightbound for this argument. They act as the Lightforged do, with a resolve that the way they see things is right, to the detriment of accepting any other perspective. The Tauren believe that their connection to the light is from their faith in a god of the sun, Anshe. This is similar to the humans in that the power of priests and paladins comes from their faith, but different in that they identify the light by an individual that Blizzard has not given much evidence to suggest is real. The human philosophical perspective of light accounts for this, in that their beliefs can apply to those outside the Church of the Holy Light. If the light is indeed a power that can be used by any with sufficient faith, regardless of what that particular faith is, then it makes sense that the Tauren would experience the light the way they do. Otherwise, there's a contradiction in the other races having access to the light despite no knowledge of Anshe. The Kaldorei also believe in a deity of light, their goddess of the moon, Elune. While Elune is considered a light deity, she also governs druids' access to the spell school of Arcane, so there's undoubtedly more here than has been explained. Since players returned from AU Draenor, Elune has received more and more story developments, from the Legion revelation that she may be the creator of the Naru, to the BFA adding of the Vengeful Night Warrior. Elune is considered to absolutely have a will for her followers to abide in, and until the burning of Teldrassil, it was assumed that the Night Elves received her blessings for adherence to her will. However, the apparent indifference with which Elune was seen allowing the actions of the Horde against the Kaldorei has prompted the High Priestess of Elune, Tyrande Whisperwind, to question the goddess. While some dark aspect of Elune's vengeance has empowered Tyrande to push the Horde back out of Darkshore, it remains to be seen what answers Tyrande will be able to find as to why their faith in Elune's protection seems to have been for naught. The common theme across all these perspectives is faith in the power of the light to accomplish tasks, whether that requires the deity's will to be followed or not. The remaining questions of Elune's nature and relevance to light-wielding races other than the Kaldorei remains to be seen, so for now, the answer appears to be that there is no one deity governing the power of light in the Warcraft universe. Yo! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and leave a comment so I know you want more videos like this. If you want to know when new uploads arrive, subscribe and hit the bell icon to have YouTube send you a notification. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.